what's happening everybody? I thought I would do a bit of an update. I'm in my pajamas with my thongs on, but basically because I've been uploading lots of videos recently, just thought I'd give you a bit of an update of my situation. These cars, the last video I made was of this S13 and it was black, SR20. A lot's changed since then. So I'll give you a quick rundown on both the cars, where we're at the moment, why the motor's been pulled in this new car that no one's ever seen on this channel before. Go from there. All right, so we'll start with the S13. So the last video, it was black, SR20. I was having the time of my life in it. I was really enjoying it. It was 170 kilowatts, basic setup. It was getting the job done. I did 4 events in it, where I just drove it on the trailer, drove it off the trailer. But the last event I did in it was at Tail and Bend, and it was down on power because it was leaking out of the manifold gasket, turbo to manifold, and it started pushing a lot of oil out of the catch can. I can put a quick clip in of a lap from my Instagram because unfortunately I lost the memory card of that whole day, but I'll put a quick clip in. As you can see, it was pretty down on power. I don't know if you can tell it in the video, but it was a lot peppier than that before. I think that's the video where I actually tapped the wall because I leave my water sprayers on. But yeah, the end of that event, it was pumping a lot of oil out of the vent onto the windscreen. So, pulled the motor, the SR20 out of it, sent it off to get rebuilt, or I sent it off just to get it checked and see what the plan was. Long story short, the machine shop took a while to get back to me with a quote on what to do, how we're going to go about it. So in the meantime, I bought something else. As you can see, it's been collecting dust for a little bit, mainly because I've been distracted with this whole situation that's going on over here, but we'll get to that. So I've purchased myself my first 1JZ. So let me just put this bonnet latch up. It's gone. It doesn't have one. I could have sworn it had one. Anyway, I have to hold the bonnet up. Basically, the story with this 1J is it was rebuilt with forged pistons, but not rods. It came with that old Garrett. I can't even remember the size of it, but it's a little bit old, but it has a smaller rear housing, so it could work. I'm in two minds whether or not to change that hot side. But it's fairly standard, fairly basic setup. Other than that, like stock intake, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's not a lot to it. R35 coil packs, it's got a Howtech. I'm thinking about getting a new loom because it's a bit of a butchered loom and it's not a Howtech loom. I'd rather just keep a Howtech loom with a Howtech ECU sort of thing. Astra power steering, whatever. I won't bore you with all the details. It's got a TR6060 behind it with an Exceedy twin plate. So it should be a bit of a spicy car. So this will predominantly be like the competition car and the expensive car to run. And then this car was supposed to be the cheap lap car, but... So basically, I bought this car, sight unseen. It was from Victoria, and basically it had coilovers in it. I'll show you a picture of what it did look like because it was hideous when I first got it. Put a picture in here. Hopefully I know how to edit stuff. And then, so when I got the car, motor was cactus. It had BC coilovers, AU, house, knuckles, roll cage, which is actually a pretty not bad roll cage with side intrusions. So it did come with a full interior and I stripped it, really, really badly painted it white because I tried to cheap out and it really backfired on me. But the cage was bare metal when I first got it. Whole interior was bare metal. But I really wanted to match the white roll cage, yellow car, white roll cage, yellow car, same wheels, all that sort of stuff. Well, same wheels on the front anyway. The rears are a bit air going. Believe it or not, this is an S13 spoiler on a B Series Falcon, and I think it looks great. Anyway, it came with a fuel cell, fuel system. So apparently, well, not apparently, at one point, the running gear in this car was turbo, and it was running, I think, 380 kilowatts or something. So it's got a top loader 4-speed gearbox in it. I've literally just put a 411 mini spool diff in it, redid all the rear cradle bushes, stuff like that. And then I put an FG motor in it, low kilometer motor in it. But basically I got the first outing in it. It had 308 diff gears, so super long diff gears, really hard to drive. I tried to drive around it. It wasn't loving life. And then the second event, I hadn't changed the diff gears. I don't think I changed anything the second event. I added a handbrake because the first event, the handbrake barely worked, so I was really struggling. So I thought, at least if I put a handbrake in it, it might do a little bit better. Second event, I got what I suspected was valve floating. So the car, again, I lost the memory card to that whole event. It was the same memory card where that event happened as well. So really frustrating. The last 2 times I've driven, memory cards are lost. I will not do that again. But I was getting what I thought was valve float. Basically, the car would just lose power, it would be down on power, and it was making all these weird and funny, wonderful noises, stuff like that. And unfortunately, I kept trying to drive through the problem, which is not something I usually do. Usually, if I have a mechanical issue, I will take my car off the track straight away. But I hadn't driven for a while, I got a little bit overexcited, and unfortunately, trying to drive around the issue, Trent, one of my mates, came off track in front of me. We're in a 3-car train. So he came off the track, the second car was blocking my view, and at this point I think I'd misshifted, so I was kind of just floating around the track, knowing I was going to go off, but I hadn't tried to pull the car forward or anything. I just thought I'll just float off, and unfortunately when that second car moved out the way, I've actually got a video of it, when that second car moved out the way, Trent was kind of just there, couldn't avoid it, and unfortunately I hit him. So the impact was that hard where my front end went over, and all the kinetic energy basically went that way. So my whole front end is over now, including the frame rails and everything. I'll put a picture in of what the car did look like. That event, at the beginning of the event, looked pretty cool. And I'm in 2 minds whether or not to fix the front end for the next event, or if I just got to sort this situation out first, which, mind you, is in 4 days' time. Today is Monday, and then our event is on, or my night practice is on Friday. So not a lot of time to get everything done, but moving on. So basically, I got the assistance of Jaden Jameson and asked about what I should do with the motor to get it going again. Obviously, valve springs on the cards. We weren't sure if that was the actual issue. So what Jaden ended up suggesting was we pulled the whole head off. While the head was off, we checked the bore. He fisted some pistons to see if they're okay. I'm not too sure what he did, but we had the sump off and everything. While the sump was off, we did oil pump gears. Basically, took the head off for me. He sent it down to the machine shop, got it decked 30 thou for more compression, and basically got it checked, valves reseated, got springs done at the same time. So basically, the idea was to get a little bit more power out of it, compression sort of thing, and while it was there, just get the whole lot checked. So the motor's looking pretty tidy at the moment. We've got a new water pump, with a metal pulley on it, because apparently the plastic ones are pretty prone to breaking. And I think we did a couple of other things whilst we were there, but the idea was the motor should be good now, and if it's still doing the problem, it might be tune related, but I was fairly confident it was valve spring. So the idea is to keep this car naturally aspirated. Maybe eventually it'll get a turbo, because now we've done valve springs, pump gears. Kind of makes sense, but I wanted to enjoy the NA life and doing cheap laps and that sort of thing, because there might be a time where I can't afford to take this car out, or I just want to party on a skid pan day, or X Park, which is a real tight track. I'm going to want to take something a little bit slower than just blazing tyres and fuel off of this. So that's kind of the seat time. Well, hopefully once this is all sorted, fingers crossed, seat time, cheap, reliable car, competition hecticness, basically. I guess I'll show you like the insides of both. So I tried to stick with the same kind of theme. So I got, well, the one bride here, tried to put another one on that side, but it didn't particularly work with the cage. So I kind of had to keep that seat, which I don't mind. It's a good seat, but I'm kind of wanted a matching to match this car, because basically white cage, bride seats. This has got a full interior. It did actually have rego. It still does have rego, but I was driving it around, not when it was bright yellow, but when it was black. But you can see, kind of tried the white theme, but like I said, I painted it really cheaply and I shouldn't have cheaped out. I should have just bought a half decent product to begin with and it would be a lot nicer. But going to put a dash back in, I think, because actually having no dash, it's a bit weird with like your spatial awareness, in my opinion. That's basically the only reason I want to put a dash back in, maybe neaten it up a little bit. Just bought an eBay hydraulic handbrake for it. Like I said, I was trying to keep it cheap. Got a power tuned dash, but the reason that dash is there is because it's got my hazards button on it. So I can't actually reach it anyway, but at scrutineering, when they say, hey, put your hazards on, I can put my hazards on. That's the only reason that's there. I can't show you how many Ks are on it, but it had 397,000 Ks, which is pretty cool, I think. So that's basically a quick update of where I'm at, what I've been doing to these cars. So probably not much more I should add, just ignore all the mess. I've actually currently just moved into this place out of the workshop. And I'm hoping to create a lot more videos, a lot more content, because I want to try and start getting, I don't know if it's a bit like getting ahead of myself, but I'm thinking about in the next season getting sponsors on board and getting some help funding these cars. So the more video and more content I make, obviously the better it is for everyone, for myself, for sponsors if they want to jump on board, all that sort of stuff, because I want to start getting really serious. Now, once I set up, finish that car, and then finish this car, and hopefully we'll have a lap time car, competition car, and I'm hoping to get pretty serious. So thanks for watching my update, and see you later.